afternoon, good evening, good morning. It is the German philosopher and historian Hannah Brendt who said that the constant lying ensures that no one believes in anything anymore. They can't tell right from wrong, and worst of all, they can't think for themselves. And this gives the leaders the opportunity to do as they please with such people. When you look at Zimbabwe, you can't deny that this is the situation we are in. The ordinary Zimbabwean has been brainwashed so thoroughly. They believe anything. They can't tell right from wrong, even when they're presented with all the evidence. When it's going to look at this weekend, for instance, the number of people who still went out there demonstrating, calling for the lifting of sanctions. They believe, because they were told by Zanu PF, that the sanctions are the root cause of Zimbabwe's economic problems. The truth of the matter is that is really nonsense. Why is it that sanctions are stopping the country getting medicines for our hospitals, ambulances, and pay doctors a living wage? And yet, they allow the likes of Chivhayo and the other cronies to buy luxury cars. And the regime itself, Mnangagwa, to spend billions of dollars in buying votes and bribing officials. That's not affected by sanctions. How is that possible? The sanctions are not affecting the importations of these goods for the ruling elite, but they're stopping the country getting basic necessities for the ordinary people. In any case, why are these people calling on the USA, the Europe, to lift the sanctions when they have no say in what the Americans or the Europeans say and do? And yet they are failing to hold Mnangagwa and his looting brigade to account. Who is controlling Mnangagwa and his looting brigade if it's not you, the people? And then this is where we are. It doesn't help, of course, because when you look at it from the other angle, Chamisa and this looting brigade, they have not done any better either. It doesn't make any sense that 25 years since the people of Zimbabwe risked all to elect Chamisa and company into positions of power and authority, we are still stuck with the same corrupt, incompetent, and tyrannical regime. MDC leaders were elected on the understanding that once in power, they will implement the democratic reforms necessary to end the Zanu PF dictatorship. They even named their party the Movement for Democratic Change. And 25 years later, including 5 years in the GNU of 2008 to 2013, not even one token reform has been implemented. Not one. Worse still, Chamisa and company have been conning the people to participate in flawed elections, knowing fully well that the process is flawed, knowing fully well that if you participate, you give Zanu PF legitimacy. They've done it out of greed. They've done it not once, again and again and again. Here is Chamisa telling the people just before the 2023 elections that Triple C was going to win big, and he was preparing his cabinet. He even evokes the name of God.
Makorokoto Zimbabwe nokuti hakuna munhu anomira kana denga raronga plan. Denga raronga plan, denga harifo iri. Plan ya Mwari haifo iri. Ini ndatanga kugadzira cabinet. There is no way we are not going to form a new cabinet. There is no way we are not going to have a celebration. There is no way we are not going to have an inauguration. Let's start preparing for our inauguration. Let's start preparing for our celebration.
The truth of the matter is, he was lying. And the people believed him. They could not judge for themselves, even after the results were out. In fact, a day after the election, Chamisa himself was admitting that Zanu PF had rigged the elections, the very thing that he said was not going to happen. And yet, the people today, 2 years down the line, some of them refuse to accept that Chamisa is a liar, that Chamisa conned them. The tragedy of that is, of course, they are laying themselves open to being abused yet again. Because after 2023 elections, Chamisa went on a sabbatical, and he has since been back telling the people and priming them for his next lie, that he's going to win the 2028 elections, they should participate. We're just repeating the same mistake all over again. I think Hannah was right. Constant lying is meant to deprive people of their ability to believe in anything, to tell the difference between right and wrong, to stop them from thinking for themselves. And once they've reached that stage, they are ripe for exploitation. They can be conned into believing anything. And that, unfortunately, is where we are as a nation. This issue of Zanu PF being able to rule, to rig the elections and stay in power for 45 years can be ended. There's nothing magical about Zanu PF. In fact, when you look at the mess in which the country is in, it is clear that Zanu PF leaders are corrupt, incompetent. In short, they're just buffoons. So why is it that we've been stuck with buffoons? Well, we elected opposition who turned out to be even worse. They were easily conned by the buffoons. And we, the people, have been lied to by both Zanu PF and MDC-CCC to the point where we can't think for ourselves. This is really the reason why Zimbabwe is a failed state. Think about it.